So with that being said, I'm Bob Gazzale. I am in the University of Toronto's teaching stream, where I am an associate professor in the Department of Economics. I am research-wise, I am an experimental economist, right? And so naturally, when I started teaching, right, I thought I should use games, markets, experiments in my teaching, right? And as I've done so, I've realized that two things in particular stand out to me, right, as to why I continue to teach with games, markets, and experiments, right? The first is just quite simply, right, when you ask students to participate in a game, market, or experiment, they are actually the participant in the environment which our theories talk about, right? And I think there is an independent value, right, to participating in the economic environment. Actually experiencing the environment makes it more real, right? And so when I taught industrial organization, I always did an experiment with the Bertrand paradox, right? And participating in this experiment makes it very clear what are the assumptions that we make when we talk about the Bertrand paradox and price competition. Right, the other one is, quite honestly, when a student experiences the results or outcomes of these markets, these games, et cetera, it becomes much more vivid, right? And one of the things that I love doing is when a student asks me a why question, right? Then turning it around to the student and say, you just participated, right? You tell me why you did this. And I find that to be very powerful. Right, so the beginning of my teaching career, I taught at a small liberal arts college, which meant that I ran experiments, pencil and paper, and quite honestly, sometimes had a lot of fun running around a class of 20 students, collecting answers, etc. I then moved to the University of Toronto, where my intro class is somewhere between 400 and 500 students, right? Clearly, hand-run experiments, classroom experiments were not going to work. A couple of years later, I found out about MobLab, a way to run these classroom experiments in classrooms up to, and I've run them in classrooms with 1,000 or more students, and that's my history.